In the previous sutra, we were looking at what Vikalpa is and how it refers to a word that exists as a word but does not have a corresponding reality. It is a sound but that does not have a corresponding tangible reality to it. In the next sutra, Patanjali Maharishi talks about Nidra, which is the other vritti. Abhava pratyayalambana vrittir nidra. Abhava pratyayalambana vrittir nidra. Abhava is absence. Pratyaya is basically the content of the mind, or you can even call it the cognition. Alambana means having some kind of a support or depending on a support, having a base, having a basis in. And vritti, of course, we've been looking at it. And nidra is sleep. So this particular sutra highlights that sleep is a vritti, which is actually the absence of cognition or absence of any kind of content for its support, or does not have content as its basis. It is the absence of the content of the mind. So this definition is a little sukshma. One can easily be confused by what it actually means, and to try to explain it is also difficult. First of all, sleep is also considered to be a state of consciousness, or it's also considered to be a vritti, because once we come out of the state, we are able to recollect that I had a good sleep, I slept comfortably, I had a dream, or whatever it is. Dream, of course, is different from sleep. But when we wake up, we are able to remember that state. And hence it is a state of consciousness. So what does modern cognitive science and neuroscience talk about sleep? So sleep has different stages. In stage 1, or the first few hours or whatever it is, or minutes, there is this falling asleep stage where theta waves are happening. Then you have the stage 2, which is a very light sleep, and high intensity brain waves are actually going on, and it is thought to be associated with some kind of memory processing. In stage 3, which is about 25% of the entire sleep, a lot of muscle relaxation happens and delta waves appear. And the final stage of sleep, which is called the rapid eye movement, is very interestingly similar to wakefulness, it seems. Here, the brain waves occur less intensely than the other stages of sleep. The entire body is relaxed, but however, the state of the mind is very similar to wakefulness, just that we are not cognizing anything through the senses. So even if some object appear in the sleep, it is just through the dreams. The senses are not receiving anything and putting it in the mind. The mind is free from its contents. Only a few dreams arise and go, and that too at a small period of time. And hence it is said that this particular vritti is marked by the absence of any kind of content for its support. Are you able to get the meaning? When we come in contact with objects through the senses, through hearing, eye, or whatever it is, through vision, or through taste, then there is a certain cognition that is happening, and then the mind stores that particular content. That is called pratyaya, which is through the cognition we take it. But this very object is removed, then what happens? The mind becomes supportless. Since that cognition does not happen, the mind is free from its content. And as soon as we awake, there is heightened electrical activity in the brain. That is what modern science says. And we immediately start cognizing things. So in deep sleep, it's not so different from wakefulness as such if you look at it. Just that the content of the mind is absent. There's nothing to hold on to. And that is why we feel so fresh after waking up. Because there is no way to act out on whatever the mind stuff is going. That electrical activation of all the muscles and trying to make sure you do something that you think is not happening in the sleep state. And hence the muscles are relaxed, the brain is relaxed. But yet it is a vritti. Because it is a state of consciousness, it is a state as such. Because when you wake up, you have a memory of what you went through in the sleep state.